This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A roadside memorial near Moses Lake, marking the site of a crash that killed an 18-year-old man in 2016, was damaged on Friday. Friday was National Adoption Day, and Grant County Superior Court traveled to Moses Lake to officially bring two families together as part of the celebration.
The Elmira Cooley Heartline, their ACH football team, made program history Saturday afternoon.
A new season is now underway for the Wenatchee Valley College women's basketball program.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
A roadside memorial near Moses Lake, marking the site of a crash that killed an 18-year-old man in 2016, was damaged on Friday. A witness told Grant County deputies a front-end loader was driving down a canal road to the memorial site near Road 5 Northeast and Road L Northeast. According to the sheriff's office, the witness said they saw the driver, identified as Darren Hendrickson, strike and uproot a steel cross with the loader bucket. The loader then continued into the city limits, where Moses Lake police contacted Hendrickson on Ash Street. Hendrickson was interviewed by deputies and released pending the investigation. The memorial marks the site of an August 2016 crash where Moses Lake resident Clayton Clark suffered critical injuries after losing control of his car, which landed upside down in the irrigation canal. Clark died 2 days later at a Spokane hospital. His passenger, Jesus Cornejo, survived the crash after 4 Moses Lake police officers jumped into the canal to rescue the 2 men. Clark's family has reported several prior incidents of vandalism at the memorial site. Several crosses had either been torn down or damaged until Moses Lake Steel made a steel cross that was placed at the site a few months ago. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination, from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at More Furniture in Ephrata.
Friday was National Adoption Day, and Grant County Superior Court traveled to Moses Lake to officially bring two families together as part of the celebration. Judge David Estudillo and County Clerk Kim Allen were joined by families and staff from the Division of Child, Youth, and Family Services to commemorate National Adoption Day, founded in 2000 to celebrate adoptive families and highlight the thousands of foster children in the country waiting for new families. And for the first time in Grant County, 2 live adoptions were completed during Friday's event.
Today we are technically a traveling court. I can ask Ms. Allen, but I'm not aware of any time before that the court has actually traveled outside of Ephrata. In fact, there is a statute that basically prohibits the court from having a session outside of the county seats. In order to hold court outside of the county seats, we actually have to get permission from our Chief Justice, Justice Fairhurst, and we also have to get permission from the county commissioners.
More than 9,200 children in the state are currently living in foster care, with about 1,300 legally free to be adopted into new families.
We want to raise awareness in our community and among individuals or couples interested in adoption that many children right here in our own county are waiting to belong to families again. We are also here, of course, to celebrate adoptive families who have had the courage to open their hearts and their homes and come together to form new bonds which change lives forever.
This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by...
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
Intercepted number 51, Jacob Mitchell, for the touchdown.
The Elmira Cooley Heartline or ACH football team made program history Saturday afternoon when it scored 100 points against the Crescent Loggers in the state quarterfinals. The ACH Warriors came in as the number 2 seed in the state. The game was initially competitive, but it didn't last that way for long. Crescent marched down the field twice to begin the game, scoring on one of those drives. With the score at 8-8 about halfway through the first quarter, it looked like the game was primed to be competitive throughout. The Warriors scored several touchdowns in quick succession, and the game got wildly out of hand from there. Despite putting JV players in for most of the second half, between defensive scoring and JV kids playing hard, the Warriors continued to score at will. ACH scored its 100th point in the fourth quarter before the Loggers finally responded with another touchdown to make the final score 100-16.
Scoring 100 or scoring a ton is never the intent. You want to dominate in a game, but we don't want to run up the score on somebody. That's not the intent.
Right from the beginning, I knew I got to do what I got to do. I knew McGuire's a big key. I'm a big key. We also have other threats like Gage. He's another big key, and so I knew right when they key on me, then McGuire goes off, then they have to move around. So I knew I was going to come in. It's a new thing. I mean, school record, no one's ever really done it. That wasn't our intent to do that, but our second team came out and Crescent couldn't really stop a lead.
The Warriors will now advance to the state semifinal where they'll play Nassau. The game will be on November 24th, but the exact time and date has not yet been released. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER Sports.
A new season is now underway for the Wenatchee Valley College women's basketball program. The Lady Knights opened their preseason schedule over the weekend in the Yakima Sundome at the annual Yakima Valley Tip-Off Tournament, where they won 2 out of 3, including a 69-56 victory over Chemeketa on Friday and a 73-51 blowout over Southwestern Oregon Sunday morning. Much like their male counterparts at WVC, the Lady Knights are coming off a season in which they missed the playoffs by only 1 game, and head coach Rachel Getz says the foes her squad will face during play in the Northwest Athletic Conference this season will again prove mighty tough.
Walla Walla is an Eastern Region team, and they won it last year. Spokane is always a force. We added in the East a new team, North Idaho, and they're very good as well. So we kind of feel like if you can make it through Eastern Region play and put yourself in position to be a top 4 team in the East, you're going to be a top at least first, second, or third team in the entire NWAC.
Now in her 11th year of guiding the Lady Knights, Getz says last season's team featured a roster that was comprised primarily of first-year players, but this season's installment sports 8 who return as sophomores, including some very critical components to 2017-18's 16-13 overall record.
Ashlyn Burgess is probably the center of that nucleus. She averaged a double-double as a freshman and is just a scoring machine. And then surrounding her with also important pieces. Riley Denton is an outstanding shooter. She can fill it up from the outside. Ashley Watts, a kid out of small town Idaho, Kimberly, Idaho, just is so efficient at what she does. She can have the toughest matchup on the floor, and she gets it done offensively for us and defensively. And then we have a huge presence on the inside. Her name's Rachel Odema. She's a 6'1" kid out of Utah, and fun fact, just touched the rim last week for her first time. So not dunking, but she's an athlete, and we look forward to seeing that athleticism all year.
As for what team attributes the Lady Knights should receive more than a few style points for this season, Getz says those should come from the defensive side of things.
I think that this year we have the athletes to have a huge emphasis on defense, and defense is a trademark kind of this program, always has been, but we have the athletes to put on a lot of pressure, and we're going to do that. That is a big piece of our plan, and I think going to play into our success.
The Lady Knights will enjoy the next 2 weeks off before playing their first games of the new season at home on the first 2 days of December in the WVC Basketball Classic against Clark College and the squad from Fairchild Air Force Base. Reporting for iFIBER Sports, I'm Chris Hansen.
This is iFIBER News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.